Damn it, Bobby, this just ain't right.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Bobby G. We got another reaction today, and in this video we finna watch a YouTuber that I kind of grew up on. I watched this nigga like religiously back in the day. He goes by the name of Flemlo Raps. He dropped a video yesterday, my fault. This one's called An Outside Perspective on Caitlinclark versus the WNBA. 10-second summary on my perspective. I think this is a bunch of hating ass bitches out there who they just mad because Caitlinclark is the new. It's out with the old and with the new, and they mad. But anyways, let's see what this one's got. Leave your boy a like, subscribe to the channel, fuck with your boy in the comments. Let's see what Flemlo Raps got for us.
Around a stagnant conversation that's not going nowhere. People just keep making the same point, and eventually you get so tired of hearing the same stuff that you just jump in the conversation to offer a different perspective. That's exactly where I'm at with the whole Caitlinclark versus the WNBA conversation right now. This is an outside perspective on Caitlinclark versus the WNBA. From the outside looking in, it seems that WNBA players have been casted as the villains for years at this point. I'm honestly not even sure where it started, but from my
is it me, or is this kind of like let me turn this shit up a little bit.
My vantage point, it seems that all it took was a couple bad takes from just a few players to give people a pass to cast aspersions on the league as a whole. I've actually felt like this for years, and I've checked my own friends multiple times for throwing unwarranted disrespect towards the WNBA because it never felt right to me. It never sat right with me, just from a human standpoint. I don't watch the WNBA. I don't watch college basketball. Hell, I only watch the NBA during the playoffs. But according to the internet, over at least the past 5 years, nobody watches the WNBA. So if I'm a casual fan, most of the people arguing on my
Now you spitting facts though. Shouldn't shit on other people's sport regardless, male or female.
Timeline must also be casuals if nobody was watching. So as casuals and outsiders, I think it makes sense to actually listen to the people who've been covering the league. As an outsider, what I've been hearing from the people who've actually been covering this league is that the WNBA has always been really physical, and they showed a couple of clips of other hyped up rookies being tested. Let me clear it up real quick. When I say hyped up rookies, I literally
that's Candace Parker, huh? I seen that when she was rookie. They kept showing this tape on First Take the other day.
Rookies being tested. Let me clear it up real quick. When I say hyped up rookies, I literally just mean hyped up rookies, meaning a rookie who came in who was hyped up, which is completely separate from whether or not they lived up to the hype. Hey, y'all probably need examples. Okay, LeBron was hyped up, lived up to the hype. Caleb Williams is hyped up. We'll see if he lives up to his hype. But for the WNBA,
y'all feel like Caleb Williams gonna live up to the hype? I think so, bro. I think he set up well in Chicago too. Like he set up for success.
NBA cats like Candace Parker, Diana Taurasi, I know them too because they was on SportsCenter every day when I was a kid. So anyway, I'm being told that the WNBA has always been physical, and I'm seeing what's going down with Caitlinclark. So I look around the league. Is it happening with anybody else? Oh damn, Angel Reese got hip checked the same way, got choke slammed. That checks out. It is a physical league. You remember that one group of parents who first saw us playing video games and said, this is so violent, this needs to be out of the stores? It kind of feels like all these people watching the WNBA for the very first time are like when your parents saw you playing Call of Duty for the very first time, thought it was so violent they needed to protest to change it. This feels eerily similar to that. Only difference is now we've become those parents. Like, you don't know the culture, you don't know the game, you don't know the sport, but here you are judging it. And not being slightly apprehensive, I mean screaming on the timeline. This was the one non-basketball play that I saw, and according to those
see, but this Kennedy Carter shit, that's the one thing that's kind of separate from all of that, bro. That was a non-basketball play. That was some BS, and like you shouldn't have room for none of that in basketball. That's not a basketball play, a basketball move. Like, that's just straight up hating on another bitch. Can't have room for that.
Those who watch the WNBA, This is basically that league's Draymond Green. If Draymond go Draymond on somebody, you don't disparage the league as a whole. You say Draymond, Pat Bev, and Grayson Allen be tripping. I listen to all these dudes tell me how the bad boy Pistons are this legendary team because they beat the crap out of Jordan. Now you got a lot of them same people deeply offended that Caitlin has been fouled hard a couple of times. So I sit back and I think, bro, I wonder how Caitlin feels about all of this. If she's the dog I think she is, if she's the competitor I think she is, she probably hates it. She doesn't need the media's protection. She's probably offended by it. She's been grinding her whole life to get to this moment. She didn't need your help then, and she doesn't need it now. She can handle physical play and intimidation tactics.
I have a feeling that's probably how she's going about this, bro, because she hasn't even stepped out and said anything really about the whole situation, which is good. So
I'm saying, bro, she a dog. Sit back and let her overcome it. Like, all this extra coddling is low-key disrespectful. She's a pro athlete. This is not your daughter's soccer team. Caitlin talk hella trash, bro, and she knows she that girl. And to be honest, bro, that's the whole reason I like her. But the media and some fans trying to make her into this sympathetic figure because she got foul hard a couple of times is so over the top, and it's so damn annoying. But it seems like,
damn, now you talking to me or what? Fuck. Nah, bro, I'm just talking about that one play though. That Kennedy Carter shit, that was some hating ass shit, bro. That was some hating ass hoe shit. Can't do that.
a lot of y'all thought for some weird reason that these other pro athletes was gonna just bow down. And I think one of the reasons so many people are offended is because they don't have the respect level for WNBA players as professional athletes in the first place. And I mentioned Pat Bev earlier, but in this situation, when Lonzo Ball was a hyped up rookie, Pat Bev went out his way to be overly physical, and this was pretty much universally praised. Now you're gonna try to convince me that the only reason you're upset this time is because this play happens away from the ball. And even though this play happens away from the ball, it's different because now the ball is actually in play. You expect me to believe that only this exact set of circumstances would elicit the response that we've currently gotten. But the only circumstance I think that matters here is the fact that it's Caitlin. People love Caitlin. And look, bro, she's dope. And so they're kind of turning into these overprotective parents. And this is an analogy. I don't mean this literally. But you're making the other kids not want to play with her. All right, man. We headed to the NBA Finals. But you still got...
I see what he's trying to say. But the only thing that makes that invalid is the fact that he's trying to say it because it's Caitlin. Yes, it's going to be amplified because Caitlin Clark has already this name on her and she's, you know, Caitlin Clark. But if that had been any other WNBA player, we're still going to look at that as a dirty, shitty, hating ass play. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you got to compare apples with apples and oranges to oranges. We cannot... Let's be real here. Come on, Flemlo. When LeBron is out on the court, is he getting the same calls as Grayson Allen? No. And honestly, that's going a little bit too far. Let's just look at the fact that it's just a straight up non-basketball play. That's all I'm trying to say, Flemlo. That's just a non-basketball play, bro. I see what he's saying, though. That's probably the mentality you want to have in most sports. You don't want to have, you know, people just bowing down to the new or whoever the fuck is the golden child at the moment. I definitely wouldn't want to see it in the NFL because that's like the main sport I watch. But it was a dirty play. And yes, it's going to be on the face of ESPN because it was a dirty play on Caitlin Clark. If LeBron gets choked out by Draymond Green like Rudy Gobert did, if that shit happened back in October, whenever the fuck it happened, I guarantee you, we would still be talking about that shit today on ESPN. That would still be #1 headline. So let's just compare apples with apples, oranges with oranges, bro. Come on.
I don't like the quote unquote attitude they get when they're dealing with WNBA players. It's cool for male athletes to have egos. We explain it away. Well, you got to be that confident. You have to approach things like that in order to succeed at the highest level. Unless you happen to play in the WNBA, in which case you should just be meek and mild and humble and just grateful for every little thing you ever get. You ain't gonna go out there on the court and scrape and claw for your respect the same way an NBA player would. But if you do, you face the real possibility of people calling you an idiot, literally an idiot for doing the same thing that your male counterparts do all the damn time while getting.
Yeah, that's wild. You shouldn't call somebody an idiot for celebrating. That's hating. That's hating ass shit right there.
Nothing but praise. Like politically, I don't fall on either side, but like when I see something that's stupid, I just like to call it out. You know what's funny, bro? I honestly don't even like to call it out. I try my damnedest not to ever have to make these videos, but it's so annoying just watching take after take and you just keep hearing the same dumb shit over and over. And I shouldn't call it dumb, bro. That's honestly not fair, because the argument being made is a decent argument, but you can tell that these cats are putting no thought into it because it's so surface level. It's like a standard Twitter argument. It honestly feels like it's built just for people to caption it, as opposed to looking to add anything of value to the conversation. And a lot of the people that's doing this have already been accused of being the type of people that will do anything to further their career, trying to get clicks and likes. So why do the WNBA players seem to have these attitudes? I don't know their individual situation.
Wait, Emmanuel Acho, he faking stories now? What? That's crazy. I did not know that.
But from a human standpoint, usually when you're in a position where you're the only person who has your own back, when nobody outside your immediate community offers any real defense of your actual league, you are then forced to do it yourself. And when you always have to be in defense mode, you tend to become more aggressive in how you approach certain situations. You're so used to being slighted that you already ready to jump down somebody's throat the second they say something. Then people see that disposition and they cut it up in a clip, put a nice little caption on it, and then they say, see, the attitude problem, this is the league's issue. A surface level conclusion that's easy to come to and don't take into account.
I can see where he's going now. Like, that is pretty valid, because once you get to that point where you're just like, you're pulling people's interviews and, you know, quotes and shit like that to try to prove a point, that's when you kind of just doing a little bit too much. You care a little too much on trying to prove the wrong point once you get to doing shit like that. So I could see where I could definitely agree with that.
Count
sure.
How they got here in the first place. If you really take a moment to truly empathize, not sympathize, empathize, put yourself in their shoes. Not just today, bro. You have to go back and lead up to this point. Then you can start to understand. So you know how when you watch a good movie, keyword a good movie or a good TV series, you can always empathize with the protagonist, even if they're actually a terrible person. But because you spent so much time with them and you got to see their story and how they came to this point, you kind of end up rooting for them. Well, in real life,
bro, that's literally what I had in that show You. If you see that show on Netflix called You with Joe Goldberg, like in the beginning, he's just a weird sick fuck. But you know, it's so many episodes and so many things that go on that you end up low-key kind of rooting for him, but that's, you know, another story.
Understand, every person you come across, like your favorite characters, has a backstory. They have lived a whole life up to this point and experienced certain things before you ever knew they existed. So like, try to offer them just a fraction of the empathy that you offer your favorite characters in these movies and shows. Look, you ain't gonna be perfect, and some people you just ain't gonna like, but if you at least attempt this and you're 10% successful, I think the world would be a little bit better, and people would treat people like people. People would treat people like people. Think about what it must feel like to work your whole life to achieve the highest level of anything that's available in your country. And then once you get there, out the blood, sweat, and tears, all you get is ridiculed and disrespected for it. The majority of the internet has done exactly that for years on years, making these women the butt of endless jokes and memes and gifs. And let me tell you something about negative ass comments. Even when you get 95% good comments, that 5% negative comments will eat away at you. So imagine if you get 95% hate. Then people got the nerve to be like, why are you so upset? I want you to envision this, man. Feel your shirt fill up with sweat. Feel the shortness of breath as you run in wind sprints. Picture you at 10 years old, feeling the pride and the hope of seeing somebody that looked like you achieving something on the highest level. And for the next decade, you dedicate a heavy portion of your life to it. Then you make it to that level. You smile, exhale. I made it. Then everybody tell you your accomplishment don't mean nothing, or it didn't mean nothing At least not until Caitlin come running into the league. You're then told either directly or indirectly that the only way you can be respected is through her. She's the only reason anything you've ever...
Okay. Flemlo, have you seen Caitlin Clark play, bro? Have you sat down and watched an Iowa game? It's a serious question. If you have, okay, like, but if you haven't, bro, you have to sit down and watch her hoop, bro. It's different. It's not like these other girls, bro. I promise you. She's a rookie right now, so of course shit, she's not like, give her a couple of years, but bro, like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but there's a reason why she bringing in so many viewers, dog. Like, she not just some random, you know what I mean, some random rookie who's just hyped up. She not that, bro.
Directly that the only way you can be respected is through her. She's the only reason anything you've ever done even matters. You should bow down and kiss her feet. You better be grateful to her. Like, imagine that.
Yeah, no, you should never take it that far. You should not take it that far. But you should just stay woke, at least. You know what I'm saying? Like, real's gonna recognize real. You gotta just stay woke and be able to see and respect the greatness, because, dog, she's tough.
That was you. Like, how would you feel? People trying to tell you that your life was pointless until this girl came along. Now, if me asking the question, how would you feel, was a trigger, then you watching the right video, bro. This next part is for you. A phrase a lot of cats like to utter out their mouth when it's convenient is this one phrase you probably heard of, right? Facts over feelings. Facts over feelings, bro. Here's the irony. That's the go-to phrase for the most emotional people on the planet. The most unreasonable, bro. The least logical. Those type of cats love this phrase. They love this phrase when it's convenient. But if you push them to explain themselves beyond that blanket statement, they get to raising their voice at you, probably throwing personal shots, because those feelings that they claim not to have are extremely fragile and easy to hurt. You can only truly be logical when you know you're emotional. And unless you're a sociopath, to deny the fact that you're emotional is illogical in itself. But like the old saying goes, bro, acceptance is the first step. Once you know you're emotional, you can better manage them joints. That way, when you're in that state, which is going to be often, you will fall back and wait until you have a clearer mind. Then you can figure out how you really feel about a situation. Today, most people believe that going to therapy, Today, most people believe that going to therapy is a positive thing that most people apologize. Need to do. So you can sort out past emotions that lay beneath the surface, which actually dictate most of our takes. Then those same damn people will look at other people's traumas, their emotions, their issues, and be like, oh, they need to just get over it. Okay, so the main argument that most people keep making is very telling when it comes to their value system. All the money that Caitlin Clark is bringing to the league. I've said this many times, but American stated values are completely BS. We worship money and celebrity. Obviously, I don't mean each individual person. I mean America as a whole. Bro, just pay attention. That's how we move. So the argument is that Caitlin has brought so much money to the league, so much notoriety, eyeballs, and all this attention to the league. How can the other women be upset when there's so much money coming in? What on the planet can possibly be more important than money? More important than attention? More important than eyeballs? A couple of key figures in this whole mess really worship those things. Now, we all need money and we'd all like to have more of it, but some people are willing to do anything for it. For others, it's important, it's high on the priority list, but it's not number one. It's actually not quite at the top. For some of us, respect actually matters, and that's the one thing that people have refused to give this league. A lot of
okay, but I guess, dude, it's like you gotta pick one or the other, because for a while we've seen the WNBA cry out for equal pay, for chartered flights, for all this stuff, sponsorships. So it's not, it's like now that they have it, and it's such a thing that with, oh my god, Caitlin Clark brings in a lot of revenue, views, all this type of shit. Now they want the respect back, and how it was back in the old days when they didn't really have much. You have to kind of pick one or the other. You can't exactly really have both. Let's be real. Let's sit down and let's be real for a second. Times are different, bro.
The media members who will seemingly do anything for their next check cannot for the life of them understand this concept. Some people actually care about respect more than money, or on the same level as money wow. But Flim, that one WNBA player said that they should make the same amount that the NBA players make. Bro, that's a terrible damn take. Yeah, that is a terrible take. A take that makes no sense. If you're not bringing in the same amount of money, of course you ain't gonna make the same amount of money. Well, ain't that a good enough reason to perpetually crap on this league forever since she said that one time? Doesn't she represent every single player?
Yeah, you shouldn't shit on the league. You shouldn't be shitting on the league. So I see what he's saying. But you see how there's so many counter arguments though? I feel like people should just leave the league alone. If you ain't got shit to say good about it, just don't watch it then. The fuck, if you don't be sitting there trying to hate on it now. Just don't watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too easy to just scroll past it. But with social media and the internet, nobody will just be like that. Like, there's always going to be hate. There's always going to be, we'll never be at a point where everybody's just civil on the internet. There's always going to be two sides to everything.
In the league, shouldn't they all now only be judged on that since she said it that one time? Money without respect to a self-respecting person is gonna leave them in a state of dissatisfaction. Not to mention, most of these women that we talking about ain't never gonna really see this new money that's about to come in. You know, maybe if you a guard with a flashy type of game, but all I constantly hear about most of the forwards and the centers is like, oh, they can't jump, oh, they can't even dunk. It's constant shade and disrespect as opposed to respecting the game that they have to play. If you ever played basketball and you were short and got tall, you understand that playing under the rim is a whole different skill level than playing above the rim, which has more to do with talent, physical ability, not actual skill. If you a hooper yourself and you done lost some of your bounce, think back on that adjustment period where you had to relearn how to finish. Remember all them layups you smoked because you ain't had an angle right? You ain't had the English right because you used to just dropping it in the rim? My point is, bro, there's something to respect. There's appreciation to be had in any sport that's played on a professional level.
That's facts.
Maybe these women just want to be respected. Do you want to be respected? At your damn job, when you was in school, did you like the teacher's pet, or did you roll your eyes every time they passed out the test papers? Which brings me back to the Caitlyn side of it, because I don't think she want to be the teacher's pet. This is a role that was cast on to her by y'all, by treating her like this little fragile flower you gotta protect. Bro, let that girl hoop. She a grown ass woman. She a dog. She good. She gonna be all right. Either that, or at the very least, the same outrage you show every time she get fouled hard, why don't you show that to the other players? Anyway, man, lastly, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. If you think the NBA is soft, but seeing Caitlyn get pushed down got you shriveling all up, you need to look in the mirror, check your biases, and don't feel guilty, bro. We all got them. The only way you should feel guilty is if you pretending they don't exist, because then there's nothing you can do to try to balance the mugs out.
Unconscious bias is a human condition. No, that is facts. What up, Mr. Hamster? But anyways, that's a W video from Flemlo Raps. You guys go ahead and check the rest of his shit that he's got on his channel. He's a W YouTuber, to be honest. But what do y'all think about this whole Caitlin Clark situation and WNBA? I honestly feel like if you just don't have anything good to say about it, just don't watch it. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Only thing from that video, Flemlo Raps, bro, you gotta watch some Caitlin Clark highlights, dog. You'll see what the hype is about, for real. You gotta watch some Iowa highlights. I know she's a rookie right now, so it's kind of hard to see the hype, but you gotta go back to the Iowa tape. Bro, she might be the next Steph Curry. Just saying. No glaze shit. Come on now. But that's gonna do it for that video. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think about the whole situation, and let me know what y'all want to see, or whatever the case is. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Have a good day. Peace.